man competing in either the 5 or the 10. The first of 3 great Ugandans former. Josephat Cheptegei, silver medalist 4 years ago by, wait for it, 0.02 of a second when Moses Kipsiro defended his title on the line. For such a long time, over 20 national titles. Joshua Cheptegei aiming to become only the 3rd man in Commonwealth history to do the 5. A loaded race. Kafasi Chitsala in making representation here. Stuart McSween ago, 5,000. And then the 3rd of these brilliant Ugandans on the track in 2016. The fabulously named Toast for stepping on the curb. And fine run, by the way, in Kampala last year at the World Crop. The men's 10,000 metre final here on the Gold Coast is underway. It really is a fabulous lineup of Kenyans, and look at that, they have gone all the way to the front straight away. Ahmed is up there as well, and number 8 a little bolder at the start than we might have otherwise expected in a race of this distance.
The Zane just had to pull out of this team with an injury. They decided they wanted to make money, went to the Rift Valley in Kenya, and just basically Kenyans run is the way we want to run, and some of the times they're now running are on par with the best Kenyans in the world, just looking to try and run nice and relaxed, nice and controlled.
Yeah, in Glasgow, but hasn't run a steeplechase for a while. Long way to go. Usually, if we have an early lead, but when a Kenyan goes to the front this early, and a Kenyan of the pedigree of Ndiki and a New Zealander, a full complement, the double. That's Andy Vernon just ahead of Patrick Tiernan. The Englishman and the Australian some way off the pace at the moment, just struggling. They're the next athletes behind this group. Only Cecil Matthews in 1938 and Moses Kipsiro in Delhi 8 years ago have done the 5 and 10 double. 2:44, trying to produce the double. It was very, very fast, and now they've slowed and they've bunched. And this is the very first time that we've seen Jake Roland decide to go to the front. This is brave, the 10K. This is a great move.
Very bunched. He doesn't want this to come down to the last 800 metres. He doesn't have the speed and gold medal. Looking to try and become the 5th New Zealander to win this event since 1930.
And a lot of prestige with New Zealand distance running. Jake and his twin in their pockets. They've both had malaria, dragged each other to local hospitals. They didn't do it in luxury. They weren't staying in hotels. They were staying in training in were with. They've really had to work very, very hard to get up towards the top of the world leaderboard. But they were determined to show that it is possible to race against and with and beat some of the East Africans. You've got to be prepared to make sacrifices.
Well, they didn't get funded by their parents. They funded their way to the Rift Valley, him and his brother Zane, who picked up a bronze medal in the 5,000 4 years ago. They
impact on the rest. Makoka beginning to drop off. He's in that distinctive green vest. Don't worry about the man from Malawi. He's been lapped. And onto Robertson's shoulder. So we have Canada 1, Uganda 2, New Zealand 3, Kenya. But his other compatriots, Jonathan Ndiku, the steeplechase specialist, has some distance between himself and the 2 Ugandans who've really gone for this. Come back up onto his shoulder. I'm not sure they'll be able to reattach.
Any performance. Good to see Canada in the mix. New Zealand, Uganda, Kenya, they came over. They have docked approach of a one team, one dream. But that is...
It's getting tactical now. There's Torocic and Mokoena trying to close the gap, and Ndiku very tired as well. 4 laps to go now. Robertson in the hunt for a medal, which would be the first for New Zealand. Ahmed looking behind. Only is still in this group from the trio of brilliant Kenyans. World Junior Champion 2 years ago. He's only 20. A big move with 3 laps to go. Having started quickly, the pace has got a little bit tactical between these 5 who still have some clear margin ahead of the rest, led by Torocic in 6. Joshua Cheptegei, the marginal favourite for this title, trying to come up onto the shoulder of mine. 24:53 at 9K. This is well inside 28-minute pace, and that's why We've only got 5 still in the beginning to really go, but there's still 2 laps to go. An extraordinary moment of acceleration from...
Does he have it? He's looking back over his shoulder. It's never a good form. There are still 5 athletes with a chance of winning it.
Wildly there. Only man to respond. Or Quemoy. The 2 men who stood on top of the podium in the 5,000 have in Commonwealth Games. Ahmed determined this time it will be the gold for him. They come round the bend with 150 metres to go. Out in and waves them on. Cheptegei and Ahmed. Ahmed's cut is going to do the double here. An absolutely brilliant run, full of bravery, full of intent. Cheptegei takes the title, 27-19. Ahmed takes the silver, and it will be Quemoy who produces the bronze for Kenya. What a race. So full of intrigue.
Robertson of 27:30.90 to finish in 5th place. What a race, but 200 or 300 metres. He knew that he probably didn't have the speed in the legs. It didn't quite pay off, but that is one of the great performances. One battle in the men's 10,000 metre final. We've had one game.
28 minutes, finishing way off the pace from Joshua Cheptegei. But how brave, buy him the double. Massive credit to the young Kenyan for hanging on for the removes his spikes. Do you know what? Mo Farah, I think a new star has been found. Double gold here. Secretary already over 15k. A brilliant cross-country runner. Check the medal because he's not left wondering if he had anything left out on the track. He gave it everything, Ahmed. Turned it into a fascinating race. But come the crucial moment on the last lap, who reigns supreme again here in the balmy sun.
As he's just trying to get any oxygen in, and you just look at the contrast in the form, contrast in the facial expressions. At some point,